Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we have our top 3 most played games of April. Can't believe we're already into May. April was a really good month for gaming. We had 26 plays of 10 different games for around 31 hours of playtime. Now, before we get into the list, I do want to mention our sponsor, StoneValleyGames.com. They have a fantastic selection of games over there, a very wide-ranging selection of games as well. They've got board games, of course, card games, of course, but they also have war games and RPGs and collectible card games and just about anything, any one of those areas of the tabletop hobby that is your area, they can cover it for you. So go check them out. There's a link in the description below. They also have a couple different programs going on over there. They have a loyalty program for return customers. Also, though, if you live in the continental United States and you order $100 or more from them, they'll ship to you for free. And then if you are in the United States military and you're stationed overseas at an AA, AE, or AP address, they'll ship to you for free as well. So go check them out, StoneValleyGames.com. There's a link in the description below. Now, also, if you'd like to support the channel somehow, there are, of course, different ways you can do that in the description. One of the best ways is, of course, to subscribe to the channel, like the video, but there's also the super thanks, which you can do in the comments below if you want to support the channel monetarily. So go check that out as well. And now let's get into the list, starting now. So number 3 is Nemo's War. This was a brand new game to me this month. Nemo's War, got 3 plays in of it, and for sure, I believe this game's going to end up on my best solo games list when that comes out later this year around November. If I had not already made my top 60, it would have placed somewhere in the top 60 for sure. My initial impressions are at least in the top half. Nemo's War is a solo-only game where it's a lot of tests. Basically, you're rolling dice for tests, but you have all these different ways to mitigate the dice rolls, and you are playing Captain Nemo in your submarine, the Nautilus, going around righting the wrongs of the Imperial world that is the norm in the day of Nemo. And you're going around and you have these different motives. So I believe there are 8 different motives that come in, either 8 or 10 different motives that come in the deluxe edition, which is the one I have. And the motives determine how many points you get for different things. So certain ones might give you a lot of points for finding different wonders in the world, but then other motives might give you a lot of points for sinking warships. And so depending on which motive you have, that will depend on how you play the game. And also different in-game conditions. Nemo's War is a ton of fun. Already spent too much time talking about it. Number 3 with 3 plays. Number 2 was Star Wars, The Clone Wars with 4 plays. This is based on the pandemic system, but they've changed it quite a decent amount. Like, you definitely see the skeleton of pandemic in there, but there's a lot of things that have changed. You're playing as Jedi during the Clone Wars, and you could go up against Dooku or Darth Maul or Ventress or Grievous. Those are the 4 different villains you could possibly go up against if you're familiar with the series. And you're basically trying to stop the spread of the droids. They might blockade planets. The actual villains are moving around trying to accomplish things as well, and you're fighting them off. And it's a really great time. Star Wars: The Clone Wars with 4 plays. And number 1, Jaws of the Lion, finally makes a return to the list with 6 plays. I had a game night where only one person was able to make it, and I decided to teach them Jaws of the Lion, and we played through the first 6 scenarios in that game night. This is basically the best intro to the Gloomhaven system that there is. Jaws of the Lion, literally the first 5 scenarios are just are all expanding on the rules. So it gives you a very small part of the rule set, and then scenario 2 expands on it, scenario 3 expands on it. And then by the time you get to scenario 5, you have the full rule set, at least in terms of combat. Gloomhaven and Frosthaven both expand on the things that happen outside of combat, but this really gets you up and running really well. And if you're not familiar with the system, as far as combat goes, you start with a hand of cards. You always start with all of your cards in your hand at the beginning of the scenario, and then you play 2 cards at a time, and you play the top action of one, bottom action of the other. And as you level up, you gain more cards that you can add to your decks, and you really get some cool combos in there. In Jaws of the Lion, there's only 4 character classes that you can choose from, whereas if you get into the Gloomhaven or Frosthaven games, there's the intro classes, but then you unlock additional classes as you go along. Such a good time. Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion was #1 with 6 plays. So that is my top 3 most played games in May. Be sure to keep watching as I continue my top 60. That video, of course, the number 60 through 51 already came out. I will begin filming number 50 to 41 right after this video. And then we've got the finale for How to Play Game of Thrones will come out this month. How to Play Aeon Trespass Odyssey Part 2 will finally come out. That second part has been a beast to script, but I think we've got it. I think we're ready to go on that. How to Play Frosthaven is going to continue, of course, and How to Play 1815 Scum of the Earth. All that's coming up in the very near future. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.